All right. So, last we left off, the Wild Roses began their mighty trek to the city of Yuvyla. A journey which was cut short, actually, by the help of fish summoning eagles a couple of times a day. So that was pretty fun. No one's done art of that yet, which I'm disappointed in.
That requires drawing birds.
Anywho, along the way, you guys were camping in the evening, and you heard some sort of tussle going on in a nearby grove, nearby woods, where you found an orc fighting a ghost boar and a bunch of her babies. Some of the babies were scared away. Some of them were brutally murdered. Mama was brutally murdered. And the orc, thank you guys, explained that the mother boar had been kind of terrorizing his tribe up in the mountains, and he's been tracking it as part of his coming of age ceremony. And continuing your journey, you eventually made your way to the outside of the city, or at least it became in view. Seeing it now, the city of Yuvyla itself, as I mentioned previously, it's built on the ruins of an ancient fortress and is surrounded by a six-sided ring of 80-foot high seamless stone. And that's where we left off. What are you guys doing?
I don't know, leader, what are we doing?
God.
I assume you're turning around and going back to Opius.
Yeah, immediately turn around and leave. No, I think at least Demir is just going to kind of make her way inside.
Right. So as you approach the city, you notice that there are a couple of guards standing by one of the gated entrances to the city.
I'm gonna say anything. I'm just like a traveler walking in. Trying to look
the gate is closed.
Oh.
just smacks.
I guess then I'll kind of like go up to the gate and look at the guard. Like,
all right, so they see this group of kind of, we put weirdos approaching, and they kind of look you guys up and down. And one of them steps forward and says, what is your business?
Want to get in the city?
Merchants or visiting family or anything?
We've come a long way, and we would love the comfort of an inn or hotel to pass through.
All right. Well, these are dangerous times, so I will need all of your names. And the other guard kind of steps forward, and you can see he has essentially the fantasy equivalent of a clipboard. He's making note of the people entering and leaving the city. Whoever's typing, I'm sorry, but I can't hear what Demir is saying because of the typing.
Loud clicking, Mackenzie. We can hear your keyboard.
Oh shit, I thought my mic was muted. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right.
Could you repeat that, please, Demir?
I'm called Demir.
All right. The guard writes down the name and kind of looks towards the rest of you.
Lish.
Takes down the name.
I am Tobias.
Hawk.
Aaron.
Felix, does Levy say her name?
Sorry, yes. I wasn't even aware Levy was there. I didn't see her on the map.
Oh
Oops.
yeah, no, this is just the old map.
Yeah, it's the
from-
map for combat that happened last session.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Levy's with us.
We're using
just
theater
kept
of the
around-
mind right now. You guys are next to the city.
Yes, Levy will say her name and
All right.
shuffle awkwardly.
And I assume someone introduces B. So, the guard writes down you guys' names and brief description. And the other guard unlocks the gate, pulls it open, and ushers you guys inside.
I'm just gonna go on in.
All right.
There are guards on the inside of the gate.
On the inside, yes. And you can see it's kind of one of those situations where, since the walls are thick, there's the gate in front. There's a space where you're low key in the wall, and then there's another gate that leads into the city. And when the guards on the inside open it up, you're able to head into the city without a problem.
I'm not interested in fucking with no guards. I'm just kind of going on in.
Well, we'll have to get information from somebody at some point.
Probably.
And the guards would be a good place to start.
Probably, but
Should we at least find a place to settle
yeah.
before we begin our investigation?
Probably, yes.
Right before, like, Demir is going to like stop and turn around and turn to the nearest guard and just, is there an inn nearby that you would recommend for weary travelers?
You'll probably want to go towards hospitality. There are a couple inns there. There's the Lantern Light if you're looking for a drink. Otherwise, there's Dahlia's Repose if you're just looking to relax.
Shukran, thank you kindly. And then I'm going to head off that direction.
All right.
Kind of like to the rest of the group, like, I get the sense that maybe we should ask around a little bit, see what the people think.
The guards seem very highly on edge.
Yeah.
Perhaps the barkeep at the inn might know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place to start.
Strangers show up in town, start asking questions, makes people suspicious, so, or makes guards jumpy at least.
Suspicious of us.
I hear some
Yeah.
yelling. Does someone want to be included?
What are you talking about?
Mm.
Pointedly.
So we'll start heading towards an inn.
Okay. So it's not far. The district you're in is it's called Hospitality, because it's where most of the city's hospitality businesses are, as the name suggests. So if a guard had suggested two places, there's the Lantern Light, and then there's Dahlia's Repose.
Which can we see the places? Which one looks a little sketchier?
If you're looking for something sketchier, that would probably take you to a different district
Hmm.
because you're in the tourist area right now.
Yeah, I see.
Should we go to the lantern first, at least?
Sure.
Toss a coin.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the lantern.
Okay. Pulling up the info for the lantern's light. So large stones and curved pillars make up most of the building's outer structure. In on the upper floor, you can see there's sort of a balcony with wooden beams on it and kind of like Christmas like lights attached to it. It looks like a cheerful place. Do you head inside?
Yeah.
All right. So inside, on the walls, there's all sorts of different like sort of memorabilia. All look like they've been donated by customers. There's what looks like the fantasy equivalent of a drawing wall with stuff left by customers. Hanging above the bar, there's a very old looking oil lantern, and the tavern itself is packed. Workers from the city seem to be like the primary clientele here, and there are several long tables on the floor that are occupied by large groups and clumps of people. And there are other smaller tables that are also occupied and by people who are clearly enjoying each other's company, though they seem to have been strangers that met there. Most of the stools at the bar are occupied, but nobody seems to mind the company. Behind the bar, there is a human man who's got dark skin, and he's bald, and he's got some nice sleeve tattoos. And walking around on the floor of the tavern, there are 3 servers. There is a tiefling woman who has light blue skin and curly red hair, and she's kind of chubby. There is a human person who seems to be, for lack of a better description, in the real world equivalent of South Asian. And then there is actually an Eladrin elf.
That's a human person.
And the Eladrin seems to have more of a springtime flavor to him, with pink hair and little cherry blossoms in it. Those of you that know a bit more about Eladrin, for most Eladrin, whatever season, quote unquote, they're in, it's sort of a reflection of their mood. So springtime is excitement or anticipation.
I never heard of these guys. That's interesting.
That's delicious.
No, that wasn't in character.
Wow, I have literally never seen one of these before. Definitely looking slightly off from Lesh.
just like hawk blank stare, like, wow, this guy looks interesting. I've never seen one of his kind, and Lesh just like glaring at him from the sideline. I didn't mean that to be in character though. Like, I've actually never heard of these guys.
It's probably atypical of.
I thought I legit thought, and Lesh was like a homebrewed elf or something.
I know what Ladrin are.
Well, I'm going to go up to the bar and see if there is a place that, since everyone seems kind of friendly, see if there are any locals at the bar that I could slide next to.
Yeah, there are all sorts of people. Of course, there's the barkeep himself, who's the bald man. And kind of looking around, you're noticing that there are quite a few people that seem to have some sort of drow ancestry. It's not like the overwhelming majority, but you're noticing that there are a few people. Is it just Demir going to the bar, or is everyone kind of clumped by the door? What are y'all doing?
Tobias will wander over to the bar as well. And this Eladrin, where are they again?
He is a server, so he's out on the floor.
He's just roaming
Okay.
around, basically.
Cool.
Yeah, there are the three servers. There's the Eladrin, the Tiefling, and the human.
Very slim chances on this, but Hawk's gonna look around for anyone that looks, huntery, wildernessly, outlanderish.
Roll perception check.
All right. I'm just gonna use roll 20 here. I don't have my dice out right now. Wow, that's a 6. Roll 20 has done me dirty.
You're not really seeing anyone. This mostly seems to be denizens of the city. On your way into the city, you could see some kind of tall towers in part of the district, or one of the other districts, I mean. And you kind of get the vibe that might be where the rich people live, and many of these people are people that work for the rich people.
Let's just kind of pay particular attention to the Eladrin. Does the Eladrin seem to pay him any mind?
Actually, yes. When you enter a restaurant and everyone kind of glances towards the door when someone new comes in and goes about their business. It's kind of that sort of deal. But he kind of double takes at you and looks delighted to see you.
Yes, another of my people.
And he waves enthusiastically, but he's serving drinks right now, but it's clear he wants to talk to you.
So he works at the inn then. Okay.
Yeah.
He's one of the servers.
Okay.
Well, I'm going up to the bar and finding a place to
I'm concerned
slot
immediately.
All right.
Actually, I'm going to try and find a local guy looking. So some dude. I'm just gonna find
Some local dude.
Find a fucking dude.
What about a gal?
Okay.
Listen, depending on your outlook, dude can be a gender neutral term.
I'm taking the piss.
So you approach a half elf. Looking at him, he's got kind of grayish brown skin and light hair, so there's a good chance he's half drow. And he's kind of chatting cheerfully with the tiefling server. It's not like flirting, it's just like, hey, how you doing? It's been a while. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of sit at the bar, kind of near and to the tiefling, Do you have any coffee?
Are you asking the tiefling or the barkeep?
The server who is over there.
Okay. Let's see. I had a voice for her. Oh yes, we had some coffee. Do you want any ingredients or sugar or milk or good berries? What are you looking for?
Black coffee is fine.
Okay. And she kind of scuttles towards the back.
And Demir's just kind of going to like sigh a little and like, the guards at the gate were quite something. Are they always like that around here?
Oh, how do you mean?
Oh, I mean, they demanded the names of all of our party.
That would be because of the that would be because of the murders that's been going on.
Murders?
Surely you've heard.
We've been on the road for a long time. What is this about murders?
Well, there's been a few murders around town in the last month or so. The folks have been have taken to calling it the arsonist butcher.
Arsonist butcher? Well, that doesn't sound very good.
I know.
Who have they been killing? Now I'm a little nervous.
Well, there have been 5 so far. Most of them in the rookery, but recently they got a older woman who worked in the bakery couple roads to the north.
So they've all been happening in town?
Aye, they have been, yeah.
Well, surely they have a suspect.
Aye, they do, but I personally, between you and me, I think they should probably arrest her, but they keep saying there's not enough evidence. But even if they get it wrong, it would be a bit safer to get a blood mage off the streets.
Blood magic? Is that what's been killing everyone?
Not arson butchery.
Not arson, yeah. One would literally a mage would be a higher priority suspect.
Well, I'm not I don't know all the details, but what people have been saying is that there have been slashes and burn marks all over the bodies when they've been found. The latest one was some prostitute from the rookery. She people are saying that she put up a fight of some sort, and that there was blood and scorch marks all up and down the road.
That's horrible. Makes the girl afraid to go around alone.
He kind of like, darling, I'm afraid you're not my type. I've got a husband.
I was speaking more in general, but fair enough.
And at this point, the tiefling woman with the blue skin and red hair comes back, and she hands her the cup of coffee. She's like, "Oh, here you go. Let me know if you need anything else, okay? I'm around."
Thank you very much. I'm going to take my coffee and then kind of stop and turn back to the man and say, "Is there this blood mage, what do you know what has led them to suspect her? Thank you. Brain fart.
Well, I mean, I wasn't there that evening, but apparently this blood mage had been staying at this tavern, and she'd helped sort of broken up a fight, and she had this weapon with her that she used to hurt herself, and it caught fire.
I see. What tavern was that? I want to know so I can avoid it.
You're standing in it.
Oh, this tavern. Well, that makes me a little nervous. All right, thank you. And Demir is going
accent.
Oh,
Demir is
God,
turning Scottish by osmosis.
It's going places. Demir is going to take her coffee and kind of go back towards. I assume that Aaron and Hawk are just kind of standing in the back.
That's
Hawk's
what
been
I'm
like
picturing.
trying to like just hang around the crowd, maybe like listen to any chatter about this, but he's Hawk, he's not gonna actually start inquiring.
Yeah, I think Aaron's just kind of been be riding behind him.
Sure. Roll perception check then.
Sure. I'm gonna actually use a die this time and hope
Good
that
luck.
it doesn't screw me. If you give me a 4, if it gives me more than a 4, I'll be happy.
Tobias did follow Demir up to the bar, kind of, and I can just have him order a thing of coffee as well while he listens to Demir talk to this barkeep.
Trying.
So she wasn't talking to the barkeep. She was talking to one of the inn patrons. Or yeah.
I
So
was talking to the local.
yeah. So there's the bar. She sat in one of the stools next to a half drow. Ordered coffee from the tiefling. Tiefling went back. She chatted up the half drow. The barkeep is kind of walking back and forth behind the bar talking to people.
Okay.
You can talk to him if you like, or you can find another local.
I know that Hawk tried to see if there's like any wilderness people and
I'll give it a shot. I rolled a
hunters.
friggin' 6 total on that, so I'm sure you can do better.
I guess now Tobias has his cup of coffee.
If Toby's got like about as much wisdom as Hawk does, and Hawk doesn't have a whole ton of wisdom, I don't think. Does he? Yeah, no, he doesn't. If he's got more than a +3 modifier, you're gonna do better than me, guaranteed, because I rolled a natural 3 on that.
Oh, I've only got a +1.
You'll still probably do better.
May I make an attempt, DM?
Go for it.
Okay. And it's perception. That's a 10.
You're not
You did better.
really seeing any wilderness people. You're
Cool,
in a
I'll
city in an inn for workers of the upper class.
Cool. I'll just I think I'll just settle for eavesdropping on conversation.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
Watch Samir get.
Watch Demir flirt.
Watch Samir fail.
Watch Demir pick up the accents of the people around her.
Watch Demir have no idea what accent she has.
Demir's little bit of conversation before I am gonna go and see if I can find like a booth or a table that's unoccupied.
Okay. I was going to check in with Erin and Hawk first, since you guys said you were eavesdropping.
Yeah, I did roll for that. I've had plenty of time to re-roll this like a dishonest person, but I haven't. I wish I did though, because I rolled a natural 1, which resolves as a 4.
Okay. Hawk, the people that you're standing near start singing happy birthday to the one of the people they're with, so it's kind of hard to hear anything. Erin, what did you get?
Give me a sec. Ooh, nice. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You hear some gossip going about. Some of it's your typical like, oh my god, did you hear that so and so was hanging out with so and so?
Really? Tell me
It's
more.
pretty spicy.
And they
but-
were roommates. Oh my god, they were roommates.
Yeah, essentially. Some of it is chatting about work, like oh my god, I'm so tired, I really need a week off. that sort of deal. But you do hear people chatting a little bit about the arsonist butcher, but mostly it's stuff like, ooh, where's she gonna strike next? And the suspects disappeared into the rookery. I'll bet that's where the next victim's gonna show up. Stuff like that.
Everyone's got their own theories.
Yeah, essentially. No one really knows, and you get the impression, since you rolled a dirty 20, that much of what they're talking about might not be true. It's like, I heard this and this and this. Well, I heard that this.
People are saying that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, definitely a hot topic around here.
Levy, what were you doing?
Felix had to dash due to an unspecified emergency.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that. So Lish, none of the tables are really empty, but no one seems to mind other people coming in and joining them.
There's also like 7 other us.
If none of the tables are open, I'm not really interested in sitting down. Continue to linger by Demir.
All right. At this point, however, the spring ladrin approaches you, and he's beaming. He is really glad to see another ladrin, and he speaks to you in Sylvan, and he says, welcome. It has been so long since I've seen another one of our kind.
Hello. Good morning. What is your name?
My name is Sudrayal. What is your name?
I kind of hold my hand out to them and I say, I'm Vervain.
And he shakes your hand, and he's just beaming, and he's like, I don't think I've seen you in town before. Are you new here? Are you visiting? It's a lovely place.
It seems lovely so far. And Avery, there's no sense of acknowledgement in this person at my name at all, or what I look like. Okay. I kind of nod. Yeah, I say, it's a beautiful city so far.
It's just so wonderful to meet you. How long are you planning on staying?
We're uncertain so far. We usually have been just traveling around, but there seems to be some interesting things going on here that maybe we'll take a look at.
And he switches back to comment at this point. You must be referring to the butcher, yes?
Yes, I suppose so. Does this butcher, the suspect, have a name?
Yes. Her name Esmeralda.
Esmeralda. How long have these attacks been going on? Do you happen to know?
Just a month or so. They started actually about the same time that Esmeralda was staying here, but Asira had to ask her to leave the inn. We didn't want any bad press. I don't think it's her though, personally.
No, why not?
Well, I'm really good at reading people, and she didn't really strike me as a murderer.
Some of those things are hard to tell on the surface, wouldn't you say?
I suppose, but she was really friendly, happy to chat with me.
Have you been on the prime material plane long?
Oh, most of my life, actually. My mother and I moved here. We came here when I was very young. I was probably about 4.
Really? And why?
Not sure.
Really?
You can roll an insight check if you want.
Sure.
I am.
Are you?
I am listening in on this.
Listening.
You're like hovering behind me. I've been listening in
I'm
on
just
this.
behind.
Insight check?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not great.
That's a 24.
That's a 9.
So, Demi, you're not really sure what to make of this pink-haired dude. Lish, you can tell that whatever his deal is, the reason why he and his mom moved when he was so young, it's deeply personal, and he might not want to get into it with like some rando.
Just curious. Like you said, it's not very often that our kind are here.
Demir, how obvious are you making it that you're hanging out with Lish here?
He is like hanging. He is hovering behind me.
I'm not right behind you. Because like that would be too close to like all the bar people that you're squeezed in next to.
I mean, like I guess like what my thought had been was that Demir, whenever she was done with the conversation, had her coffee, like kind of turned back to see if there was a group that had sat down.
Okay.
No one sat down, so she was kind of just like hanging out by Lish because he was already hanging out by her. But
it's fine.
I'm not like obviously listening in. I'm
Okay.
kind of keeping an eye out to see if there's a table that will be vacated.
All right. So Sudrael kind of pauses for a moment and glances around, and then switches back to Sylvan, and he looks sympathetic, for lack of a better description, and he says, something seems to be bothering you, and I want I want you to know that it will be okay. You know that most of the time winter eladrin are associated with grief or sadness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, even if he's got some like different blooms and he's primarily
Yeah.
winter.
he's
time,
seeing
so-
your winter, and he's like, oh man, this dude must be going through some shit. So he offers some words of comfort to you.
Lish just kind of has like a grin kind of steal across his face and puts a hand on the shoulder and is just like, no, you don't need to worry about me. In fact, I'm quite well.
All right, well, it does get better, don't worry. Just let me know if you need any more drinks. And he switches back to common at this point. And, I'll be around. And he starts to head off.
Lish looks a little bit like contemplative at that.
Once the Eladrin has gone, Demir is going to look back at him like
what? Insight check. Like what?
like trying to figure out what's going through his head.
Oh, he doesn't know, so you don't know.
Honey, are you mourning without me?
What was that about? Fuck.
Scottish. A little Irish.
God, I did this. Okay, so like my other character is British, and like the most of the game I kept on doing my Demir voice, and I'm like, I know I'm going to fucking mix this up when it comes to Saturday, and guess what? Here I am.
It happens. Don't worry.
What's that about?
It's making conversation. Say your favorite.
I noticed.
Problem?
No. Just a weird way to end the conversation.
We have a name and a potential location.
We had a name. Location is good.
Esmeralda.
Location is good.
Somewhere in the rookery.
You will like that.
Those of you that are keeping an eye out, the non-binary human server is heading back to the back of the bar, kind of getting more drinks and replacing the cups that are dirty or used. Sudrael, the Eladrin, as he passes by the tiefling, kisses her cheek and continues on his way. And the tiefling, she kind of like blushes a little.
Is anybody else doing anything?
I imagine Hawk's still like having limited success eavesdropping.
Wandering, listening.
Once Tobias is finished with his coffee, and Demir finished her conversation, he'll turn the cup, and then he is going to. Where's Hawk located?
He's just sort of wandering around the tavern, probably just like still sort of around the area of the Happy Birthday gang. That's what I'm calling them because Avery didn't name the group. She didn't have to.
At this point, they are getting out cupcakes and kind of passing them to people.
Yo, those are good friends.
Yeah,
They
Those
are.
are good friends.
Does Hawk get a cupcake?
He didn't ask.
And ask. Also, he's not part of the
I don't
group.
know these
Also, he
people.
doesn't have a mouth.
Also, yes, even if I wanted a cupcake.
Tobias is gonna find Hawk and tap him on the shoulder to get his attention before saying, I overheard a conversation Demi had with one of the patrons. I've half a mind to go check a spot out.
When Tobias like taps Hawk on the shoulder, he clearly wasn't expecting, so he like whips around like, ugh, who? And then he's like, once he sees Tobias's posture relaxes. Okay, at least some of us had success looking for information. Where were you planning on heading?
Apparently there was an incident not too long ago. Bakery a few streets north from here.
Should we let the others know that we're leaving?
Well, I was letting you know, so you could let the others know. But if you'd like to come with me, then we should probably let someone else know. Where's Aaron? This is out of character. Where's Aaron?
Aaron
Is Aaron still near Hawk?
He's trying
No,
to
I think.
pilfer a cupcake, probably.
Damn it!
Oh my god.
Aaron turns to a life of crime.
I don't think he's like. He's not hearing the conversation you're having, but he's not terribly far away.
Where's B?
That's a good question.
B has overheard them singing the happy birthday song, and she's adding that to her repertoire.
Good. I'm very happy.
Good. I'm guessing
When
Ashlyn's
Tobias
just off
spots
camera.
B,
She's not here right
Okay,
now.
so you're just looking at
she's
no
here.
one.
She's in the living room, but I'm piloting right now.
when Tobias spots B, he's gonna go up to her, get her attention as well, and say, "Hey B, you want to help try to find a murderer?"
She nods enthusiastically.
And off we go. And then I guess, where's Levy?
That's a good question. Probably somewhere. Maybe
Felix hasn't come back yet.
Well, I was gonna let Levy know that we're leaving.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just say that Levy is vibing, looking at some of the memorabilia on the wall.
Okay.
And
Tobias will just let her know that they're gonna be heading to a bakery not far from here, and potentially Dorkery if they have time. But start with the bakery.
Okay.
And with that, Tobias is gonna lead his merry band of Hawk and Bee to the bakery.
taking the bird people with you.
Yeah.
isn't Tobias himself bird people?
Yeah.
Listen, we have a theme going, okay? We have a vibe. While they walk to the bakery, Tobias is going to turn to B and ask, B, I'm aware that you know of sign language, and I want to be able to communicate with you better. Would you be willing to show me how it works? And in exchange, I could teach you some things as well.
She nods enthusiastically and signs something, and then pulls out her paper and ink and quill, and writes down, I've been teaching Demir and Levy. You can join us.
Excellent.
I still have to catch one of these tutoring sessions myself.
B looks absolutely delighted that you guys are interested.
How far away is, well, right, no, yeah, it's only a few streets away. Yeah, a couple roads to the north. So once we reach that road, is it like, is it clear kind of where the bakery is slash there was there any signs of just on the street?
Roll an investigation check.
Cool. Being a detective.
You can roll with advantage because B will assist you.
Thank God. Okay, that's a 13.
13. So when you get onto the street, you don't really see any signs of a struggle or anything. You do see the old boarded up bakery though. It looks kind of, you know what, like old-fashioned old lady bakeries kind of look like. It's got that vibe. But the door and windows have been boarded up. And there's a sign sort of hanging out above the door, kind of creaking and swaying slightly in the air, that says Blackwood Bakery. And it looks dark inside from what you can see through the cracks. It looks like that this lady was killed and they boarded it off. There are a few pedestrians and guards walking to and fro though, if you want to ask anyone anything.
Give me 2 seconds to add a note onto my little note thing, because
Sure.
I just need to briefly mute my mic so you know you're not slammed with a bunch of keyboard.
Hawk, are you doing anything or are you vibing?
I am too sleepy to do anything but vibe.
Okay.
My brain is just.
You're standing in front of the bakery doing the robot.
Nah. I'd like to actually see if I could see inside the bakery.
Roll perception check.
Oh God. My luck with perception checks has not been great this session.
Nope.
Okay, please turn around. It turned around. That's 20.
Okay.
30.
You're able to find a slit between the boards, and peering inside. Do you have dark vision?
That's a good question. I don't think I do.
I don't think.
Let me double check.
Do.
I'm pretty sure they don't, but I'm gonna double check. I would have noted it down if I did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they don't. They haven't
Alright.
invented night vision cameras yet.
Yeah. So you peek inside and you kind of squint, and it's dark in there. But since you had rolled a 20 for perception, it looks like the place has been mostly kind of cleared out at this point.
Okay. Now that I finished my typing, let's see who to ask first. I guess like Tobias will probably just grab the attention of a pedestrian that's walking by.
So you grab the attention of kind of an older man. He's human, balding, got kind of liver spots, and he's kind of walking around with a cane. What do you say to get his attention?
Excuse me, sir. If I could ask you.
Could
Terribly
you speak
sorry
up?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I apologize for taking a moment of your time, but some friends of mine and I, we're traveling around and we heard that there was a couple of good bakeries in Yuvyla. And, well, we came here and we were hoping to visit this bakery here, but it looks like it's been closed down. Do you know what happened?
Oh yes, the old woman there, Ethel, she passed away, I'm afraid.
Oh goodness, I'm so sorry that's happened. Was it very recently?
About a week and a half ago. It was a damn shame, really. The shop had closed down normally, and then she was found in the street about a block away from her home.
Oh, did she collapse or?
No, she was murdered. Had these great slash marks on her body with burn scars here.
Sorry, I accidentally hit a wrong key and I just opened up a bunch of menus on my computer.
I can see the look of fear in your eyes.
I did. I saw that too. I was like, oh God, what did she press?
Computer scare me. Okay. Let's see.
Middle of the street. Dead as a doornail. I tell you, it must have been quite a shock for the ones that found her.
No, that sounds utterly horrifying. Do they know who could have done it?
Well, they say there's a serial killer about. I don't know too much about it, though. I'd recommend staying away from the rookery, though. That's where the killer is said to be hiding.
Did she live near there?
Near the border, I guess. I didn't visit her. Well, that's where they said she was.
I see. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Hawk approaches, actually. He says, sorry, did you say the rookery?
Yes.
We're quite new to this town. What is the rookery?
The rookery's the rookery. It's the quarter of the city.
Well, what? Could you please tell me a little more about what's there? Just curious.
Well, most folks don't go there unless they have to. But there is a nice temple there if you're looking to visit. It's a temple to Lathander.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice rest of the day.
Of course. And he starts to hobble off with his cane.
Once he's out of earshot, Hawk's just like,
It shouldn't be hard.
Well,
you don't have to wait long. It's hard of hearing.
well, that wasn't very helpful on the rookery front.
I beg to differ. That gives us a pretty clear idea of where to go next.
Well, of course, but that didn't really reveal much about what the rookery is. The name sounds a little misleading.
I'll tell you what, roll a history check. Those of you that don't want to.
Okay.
I'm going to test my luck. Oh boy.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
I'm still going to roll though.
Yeah, go ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
3.
Yeah, Hawk, you're pretty
It's 5,
confused.
but yeah,
It's okay. Hawk is baby.
You have no idea how baby he
Tobias,
actually
however,
is.
At one point in your time, you have read a book on some of the more notable cities of the country, and in this book, you read about the four quarters of Yuvyla. So the one that you're in right now is hospitality, which, as I stated before, is where most of the city's hospitality businesses are. Horizon View is where the towers of the wealthy are, and they overlook the rest of the quarters, allowing them to be far removed from the chaos of the streets. And because he rolled a natural 20,
and this is Horizon, or not sorry, we're in hospitality, and the one you're talking about is
Horizon View.
Horizon, okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I misheard.
It's good. So the most impressive one in Horizon View is Sunreach Tower, where the leader of Yuvyla, A4 Vastinius Zafala, lives. And he's well respected and known for being a rather generous man. And his popularity sort of stems from his incredible generosity to people of all tiers of Yuvylan society. Even though his seemingly unchecked altruism raises plenty of suspicion among the naturally skeptical population of the city. And this suspicion is magnified by the fact that no one has ever met him. Even his true gender is unknown. And his steward, Vidalin Zawa, takes a more hands-on approach to the city. As such, there are a multitude of different rumors surrounding him, such as if he even exists. In addition...
what's the name of his tower?
Sunreach.
Sunreach Tower. Sorry, I'm just like noting down names and stuff.
Yeah, cool. Let me know if you need spelling for anything. In addition, in Horizon View, there's Aslina Academy, which is an academy for young nobles and home to a collection of royal artifacts and documents. While it can provide like historical information and stuff about like how to act like a proper lord or lady, big part of it is making connections to other noble families in life. I already talked about hospitality. Having to scroll through my stuff. Then there's also the Night Quarter, which is a place for those that wish to trade with the drow of the Free Underdark would go there, and it serves as sort of a center of commerce. So it's a place where drow items and artifacts can be acquired, and there's also a tunnel that leads to the Free Underdark there. In addition to there being a Free Underdark embassy there. And finally, there's the Rookery, which is where the slums of the city. Yeah, it's the slums of the city where the poor people live. At the very least, many of the poor who serve the elite, who are not allowed to live within the towers themselves. So, as such, many of the buildings have been left to rot, and it's filled with those stricken with poverty and disease, and many people end up dwelling in kind of ramshackle hovels. Although it is a relatively newer part of the city compared to Horizon View, it's home to a confusing maze of narrow streets, which can lead to, which could be the most dangerous part of the city due to a host of homeless people, addicts, and vagrant wanderers. People, based on what you've heard, mostly get by through begging, temporary work, and the charity of the Church of Lathander that's there. Good job on the natural 20. And Lathander, of course, is the god of like creativity and dawn, renewal, birth, self-improvement, right, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Um. What how much daylight do we have?
It's I'd probably say about 1:30 to 2 in the afternoon at this point.
Okay. Still decently light.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna turn to Bee and Hawk and say, what I think is if that person is anywhere in the city, she will potentially be in the rookery. And at the very least, we also know that's where a lot of the incidents have been happening.
Well, we still have to consider that they don't know who the serial killer is. It's only rumored to be this blood mage. So there's a possibility that she might not be in the rookery.
The rookery is essentially the city slums. If she's already been kicked out of a tavern, I doubt that any other place within the city will allow her to enter.
That's a good point.
Which means she would be forced. Potentially, I say, we might want to check out this Church of Lathander. Because if she can't find an inn to stay in, that might be where she is. And at the very least, perhaps they might know of either victims or potential survivors. Or who knows? They might even have had access to the bodies.
That's true. We should
Just from
probably
what
let
I've
the
heard.
others. We should probably let the others know first, though. I doubt that going down there split up is a good idea.
That is true. Yes.
Avery, we can't actually hear you.
I was just saying,
She's
split
just
the party.
sassing.
It's fine.
Yeah, go off. Have your own adventure. It's all good.
We're good.
Don't
I
you
mean,
know,
you know,
you never
I,
split the
I
party.
feel the upcoming combats for the 7 of you. I'm sure 3 can handle it.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Hawk can heal with his one healing potion.
Yeah.
He'll keep us all alive.
Like a mean-spirited way or anything.
No.
It's just funny.
We'll just have Toby. We'll just have Toby transform into a were-owl bear. In the middle of the poor quarter. Everything will be fine. We're not gonna get arrested or anything.
Nah. No. At that, I guess Tobias will say, all right. Well, at the very least, we know where we need to go next.
That we do.
Let's go gather the others and start making our way there.
All right. So while this all was going on, those of you that remained back at the tavern, what were you all doing?
Chilling. You got a drink?
Yeah, I'm drinking my coffee.
All right.
I think maybe I'd try to catch oh gosh, what's their name? Sudriel again, and just be like, I'd like to talk to you some more whenever you're free.
Oh, of course. What would you like to chat about? I'm going to be off in a couple of hours.
Just like to get to know you.
Oh, sure. I love that. Yeah, I'm off in a couple of hours. I'll talk to my girlfriend maybe about staying a little bit late. We could get a drink.
Wonderful.
Well, she won't be drinking, of course, but yeah, Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
All right. What time?
Oh, he kind of glances outside and judges the sunlight. We usually stop serving drinks around 9 o'clock. We don't want people to get too rowdy. So are you going to be staying here in the inn?
I don't know if we got rooms. We could though.
You did not get rooms.
No. We could get rooms. You want?
Do you book them or?
Oh, you would want to talk to that with Idrask, and he points towards the sleeve tattoo man behind the bar.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some rooms. And
Great.
I'll back around 9 then.
Of course, yes.
Are you going to keep track of the time for me?
Do I have to?
You might have to.
All right.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of go up to the tattooed person and see about some rooms.
All right. Yeah, he's a tall human man, dark skin, bald, has the nice sleeve tattoos. And look at in closer at the sleeve tattoos. They're really quite intricate. They look kind of neat. Like there's some like Celtic knot stuff going on there. There's some dragons. It's pretty cool.
They're not reminiscent of Aaron's at all, are they?
Oh no. But yeah, he sees you approach and he says, how can I help you?
Hoping to get some rooms for the evening at least.
Of course. How many are you going to get?
4, please.
4. So
Lish forcing people to actually get a room to themselves for once.
so that would be 32 silver pieces.
Okay. I will give him the money.
Okay.
And get the keys.
Yeah, he hands you the keys. And he tells you where they are. He sort of hazarded a guess that you guys were wanting to be close to each other, so he was kind enough to give you rooms that were close to each other.
Okay.
I think Aaron, after having finished wandering around, starts looking for his friends, and literally everyone is gone.
He's there.
Still there.
No, yeah. So I think he's gonna go up to over to where Lish is at this point.
All right.
Friends specifically.
Friends specifically.
For those two, they aren't friends, they're acquaintances.
Like
I mean, there's the form of friendship that comes with Winnie the Poohing.
yeah.
I assume he's been looking over as Lish was finishing up that conversation. So it's there he's gonna say, that you're talking to, at like and I was that another one of you?
Another one of me? With what you're asking, Aaron.
The same species.
I don't think he's a fairy, if that's what you're asking.
He's fae. Well, elvish fae. but not quite like me.
All right.
Oh, Sylvan.
Shocking.
Hmm. Do you have any idea where, like, Hawk is?
I thought you were keeping an eye on him.
They want.
I thought I was too.
I mean, with my passive Avery, I probably saw them leave, right?
Oh, for sure.
Figured out.
Exactly stealthy. So I imagine us going out of the inn would be pretty obvious to Lish with his infinite wisdom.
Well,
Not
these
infinite wisdom, but
children.
got a literal bird, a guy named after a bird, and a bird enthusiast. But Lish is the one with the eagle eyes.
Yep.
Tobias is technically part werebird.
True.
God.
Got a bird, a half bird, and a bird guy.
Probably like a quarter bird.
Yeah. They left.
I don't know where they went, but they left.
Huh. Must have found out something. Must have found out something.
Could always just ask Levy. Levy knows.
And Ren's gonna be like, well, so far, I've found out a few things, and then Ren is going to very excitedly and wholeheartedly share what is very obviously just gossip and not information.
I love that.
Love
for
him.
You're Jason, and why did he break up with her?
I'm sorry, Jessica said what now? Oh my god, that deceptive bitch.
Lish is just like
I see.
all the dots like this certainly is quite the active town.
Seems pretty
Well, perhaps
thing around here.
try and track them down. I'm particularly interested in trying to head over to the rookery.
All right. Have you
The-
heard something about it?
Yeah, and I kind of dump what Demir and Lisha found out.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
at this point, a dwarf woman comes down the stairs, and she has kind of strawberry blonde hair pulled back into a ponytail, and her beard is a similar shade, but it probably has a little more red in it. And she speaks to Idrask behind the bar, and they converse a little bit, and then he nods, and she heads back upstairs.
Did she seem like the proprietor of this establishment, or?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. Oh, wait,
I'd
insight
say
is better.
19.
That's a natural one for a total.
Welcome to the club.
Demir, you're more busy admiring her hair. Lish, yeah, you're pretty sure that's the lady that owns the lantern light.
Looks well off.
Demir's sitting here like a dwarf woman. I don't know if I have. Well,
I'm gonna put some dishes up. Don't synthesize information without me, please.
well, I suppose
We could leave a note with the bar.
they did abandon us after all.
Oh, abandoned.
Return the favor.
I mean, it does seem weird to just not tell anyone.
not tell anyone, then how would they find us?
Exactly.
You
Doesn't
want
seem like a good idea. And he probably glares a little, just.
At this point, the crew that had gone to the bakery return.
Tobias kind of scans the crowd, and then upon seeing Damir, Blish, Aaron, and I assume Levy is with them, or is Levy's probably still just standing around somewhere else.
Levy is standing around looking at the memorabilia on the wall and chatting with the tiefling lady a little bit, because no one bothered to ask her where the rest of the group went.
Tobias will kind of like wave a little hello to Levy as he passes by to Damir, Lish, and Aaron, basically just letting her know we're back.
She waves and she kind of goes back to talking to the tiefling, and she's like stimming happily and kind of like pointing out stuff on the wall, like asking
Tobias doesn't want to interrupt her while she's having a fun conversation.
Yeah. Like, oh, where'd that one come from? Who drew that one? What's that?
Honestly, there must be so many really great stories behind a lot of those.
Oh yeah.
But Tobias walks up to Damir, Lish, and Aaron with Hawk and Bee in tow and says, we're back for our little brief outing. From what I can gather, we'll definitely need to go to the rookery. I can share more on the way there, but we should go to the rookery while it's still light out.
I'm just gonna look at Lish. No comment.
I didn't do anything.
That was where we were thinking of heading, so we got rooms here for the night.
And give a key to Hawk.
All right, Hawk's gonna take your key like the brilliant little bellboy he is.
Brilliant little bellboy.
I'll give a key to Aaron as well.
Yeah, I'll take the
Thanks.
second to last key, and I'm going to go over to Levy and put it in her hand and just like give her hand a pat and then let her literally like just come up, put the key in her hand, pat her hand, and walk away.
She starts to try and talk to you, but you're walking away. Oh, are we
conversation?
And she excuses herself from the tiefling and starts to head over to you guys. What are we doing?
Oh, excellent. I was just about to go grab you. We have found some information about the matter that we are inquiring about in this town. It's become clear that we will need to make a visit to the rookery. The first place that I suggest we look is going to be the Church of Lathander.
Oh,
see what we can find there. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, let's go.
Fantastic.
I hear someone yelling.
If everything is in order, shall we start making our way there?
Let's go. Oh, now he starts screaming.
She talked. I can talk louder.
Okay. So you guys leave the tavern, start making your way towards where you assume the rookery is. Tobias is leading the way because he's the one that knows so much about Yuvyla inexplicably. And
I I mean, to be fair, he did live in the woods near this area, right? If I recall correctly.
So.
Just because you live in the woods near an area doesn't mean you know the area completely.
Yeah. But anyway, and you can see that the rookery, lightly speaking, is kind of a crap hole. It's not very well maintained. There are a few people that are asking you for coins, a few people that are eyeing your purses. It's a sketchy area. Many of the buildings are are broken down in some way. Some of them have boards over them where the windows have been broken. It's not a nice area.
Cool. And we're just the fancy motherfuckers walking through. It's great.
Yeah,
Note to
people
self,
have
I mean,
definitely noticed you.
Let's be real. Hawk and Toby probably look the most like hobos out of the rest of us. The forest people.
You're not wrong.
Aaron at least has the sensibility to wear a nice shirt.
Yeah. As Tobias leads them through, is it obvious where the church is? Like, does it stand out among the other buildings, or does it have like a tall steeple that we can
I'll tell you what, roll an investigation check, because part of this area is like it's so slapdash that the roads are fucking weird and like are crooked, might not make sense.
I don't trust my dice today. Toby, you can roll with advantage. I'm helping.
Lost. Yeah. If I was gonna say, if anyone's assisting, you can roll with advantage.
And it's a
I think she said insight?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why did I say insight? That makes no sense. Yes, I am going to determine the motive of this cobblestone path.
Hey,
God
you know what?
Does it plan
Travis
on taking us
Willingham
to
tried to intimidate a jungle into letting him go where he wanted to go. So
Did it work?
no.
Is this path really taking
Tobias
us where we need to go, or is it
12.
lying?
Well, it takes you a little while, but you are able to find what seems to be the nicest building in the area. Within like in front of it, there's a small half-circle courtyard with what looks like maybe the beginnings of a garden there. And there's a square and solid stone building with a tiled roof, and it doesn't look too impressive as it matches the somewhat sad and kind of desperate mood of the rest of the rookery, but it's definitely better maintained than the rest of the buildings around it. And actually in front of it, there is a bulletin board with various flyers on it, if you wanted to take a look at that.
Yeah, I will investigate that.
All right. So, bulletin board. There's all sorts of different flyers. The newest ones. There seems to be one that's talking about the news, and there are very few things on it. The main thing on there is arsonist butcher still at large, but then there's also red dragon spotted flying over town, local illusionist jailed, and underground homunculus fight ring broken up by city guard.
Is this fucking Florida?
Oh God! Go to an underground homunculus fighting ring. Fuck.
Then there's another one that says reward information about arsonist butcher, 5,000 gold pieces for information leading to their capture. Report to senior captain in the guards tower within the night quarter. And another one that says lost pet invisible stalker. And then there's a sketch of what seems to be an outline of a dog. And it says, if found, please return to Cornelius Oren. Hospitality.
God, I love that.
And seeking bookseller at the page stage. Part-time, speak to Peggy Plums. And then among some of the older ones, because, you know, the, like, telephone posts downtown and how they have to get rid of a whole bunch of flyers every now and then, but like, and they stack on top of each other. One of the older ones is one that looks pretty familiar to you, actually, depicting a cartoonish jester in red and black balancing on a ball while juggling, a smile on her face, saying, come all to see the marvelous Tasha's kiss.
Huh. So she's been here too.
It looks older, though. You kind of have to move some of the papers aside to find it. And then there is an advertisement with there seems to be a drawing of a bust mannequin with a dress partially on it that says, looking for fine wear? Visit So It Must Be in the night quarter. So being SEW.
Cute.
All right.
Stalker.
Does Tobias tell us about his findings at the bakery as we go?
Yeah. He on the walk there, he informs the group about what he had read in that book a while ago, about the 4 different quarters, and then along with the old woman's name was Eccles. She was Ethel. Okay, I misread as Eccles. Sorry.
It's good.
Close-up shop is normal, but was found dead in the middle of the street outside her home, or near her home, which is on the outside of the rookery / on the edge. Happened about a week ago. And there's the Church of Lathander, which is like probably the nicest spot in the rookery and could potentially be where Esmeralda could be staying or passing through.
Where you guys are right now. You haven't gone inside, you're looking at the bulletin board.
Yeah.
Question, actually, real quick.
What up?
Would we have all exchanged information about what we found by now?
Yeah, I was going.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, I suppose someone should go talk to the priest.
Heading inside.
All right.
Nothing else to do for it.
So, sorry, go on.
Is the church open?
Yeah, it seems to be open. It's a pair of double doors leading inwards, and one of them is kind of propped open.
Alicia's gonna go inside.
Okay. So inside, the walls are lit with rose red network of continual flame spells cast by the clergy. In the very center, there's a lovely bubbling marble fountain in the main temple, with a statue of Lathander himself standing atop it, pouring water from his hands into the base of the fountain below. And several people seem to be collecting water from the fountain, including a man in rags taking the water into his hands to drink, and a young mother with a toddler clinging to her leg, scooping the water into a bucket. If you're looking for clergy members, there's a half-elf woman dressed in fine white robes with blue hair and brown eyes, and she's talking to an older woman in a hushed tone, her gaze soft.
We don't have a description for this woman, do we?
No.
Should have asked. Shall we go up and see if someone has been in and out? Going to approach whomever is kind of closest.
Okay. Are you looking for a member of the church, or are you looking for like a civilian?
Someone who looks like staff.
Okay. The closest person is the half elf in fine white robes. And as you approach, he kind of finishes talking to the older woman, and who hobbles towards the fountain and sits down and starts praying at the base of it. And the half elf woman, her hair is, as I said, is blue, and it's in a braid that seems to have been wrapped into a bun. And she kind of spreads her arms and nods, and she says, welcome. Are you visiting for aid in some way?
We're hoping to be aided with some information.
Of course. I would be glad to help. My name is Archdeacon Adadia.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Lish. These are my companions here. We were wondering if you had happened to see a woman pass through here the past few days, past week or so. Would seem potentially in a hurry or secretive. Maybe going by Esmeralda.
Oh, you are looking for the suspect, then? No, I'm afraid not. She has not passed through our walls. I suspect out of fear. I have attempted to scry upon her, but I have been unable to do so. Go for it.
Also do an insight check.
Oh, insight check. Okay.
No. That's a 9. I'm not rolling well today.
Please replace your dice.
Mood.
I also got a 9, but
She seems pretty truthful.
yeah. Have you seen her at all, or you just heard of her?
I do not leave the grounds of the temple very much, beyond and few and far between trips to try to heal those that are in desperate need of such. If you're looking for information on the victims, however, I may be able to help you.
How so? What information do you have?
Well,
Cockroaches.
most of the victims have been from the rookery, so I have helped to tend to the bodies.
If you don't mind, we're quite curious about this mystery ourselves, and I, for one, would like to help find who's truly at fault. May we see some of them? Or at least one?
Well, the bodies have already been entombed, but I would be glad to share the information with you.
That works just as well.
So there have been... She kind of glances around at this point. I do not wish to cause a panic, why don't we go to the back towards my office? I'll be able to help you there.
Hawk will nod. Is anyone else going to go with him?
Tobias will, he'll say, that would be most appreciative. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will go, but I'm going to kind of be keeping a very alert eye as
Okay.
we go. If I fully trust this person.
Okay. So she leads you towards the back. Clearly the temple is not very well funded. So she takes you to what seems to be more of an office/storage area.
Whatever works.
It's kind of sad, honestly. But she back there's kind of a bookshelf with, just glancing at it, seems to have a few holy texts of Lathander on it. Then there's a box with extra supplies, paper, ink, such. And then there are a couple of chairs, mismatched. You get the idea that they were donated to the temple. And she sits down in one of them and kind of sweeps her hand towards the others. And there are 3 other chairs.
Mira's going to sit down in one of them.
Okay.
Tobias will offer one of the chairs or the remaining chairs for other people in the party if they want it.
Hawk, for once, is not going to just stand everywhere, and he's actually going to take a seat.
Character development.
I'm learning how to use furniture, guys.
God.
Finally, he got the firmware update.
I had to blue screen during the rest of that long rest, but it was worth it.
She'll sit if no the chair. The last chair.
Okay. And she kind of steeples her hands and leans on them and says, thus far, within the last 2 months, there have been 5 victims of the arsonist butcher. The first was Elbanon Joel, who was unfortunately found a couple of days after his death. The second was Galgram Fongpak, who unfortunately frequented our temple. The third was Ethel Blackwood, who was actually from hospitality. It was her death that really drew attention widely around the city. Deaths within the rookery are common, unfortunately. So the deaths of Albanon and Galgram were overlooked to an extent by the city guard. The fourth was Adelard Filal, who was a servant of Lady Irene Diamond in Horizon View, who was heading home to hospitality. And the most recent, just a few days ago, was Cherish, who was a sex worker. I have entombed her in the cemetery in the back myself.
When did Cherish die? You said it was recent.
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
When did Cherish die? You said it was recent.
She just died 3 days ago, I'm afraid. They're all clearly connected.
And what would
Connect.
that connection be? Is it the wounds, you mean?
Of course, each victim has been found with horrible burns on their bodies, in addition to slashes. Not to mention that the culprit has made no effort to hide or dispose of the bodies.
Sorry, real quickly. You said burns and slashes. Were the burns around the slashes by chance?
Burns covered the whole body.
Okay.
Could you discern which was more responsible for their deaths themselves?
I apologize, but I'm not. Forgive me, but you do not look like the typical guards. You seem an odd group that the captain chosen to investigate this matter.
Well, strictly speaking, we're not.
They chose us for a reason. The least suspecting we are, it brings the hopes that we could potentially catch the true killer off guard.
So, Tobias, roll a deception check.
Yeah.
Demir, roll a persuasion check.
Fuck! What is it that Demir said?
She said that you guys weren't associated with a guard.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
No,
sorry, I thought she. Sorry, I didn't hear fully what she had said. She kind of like trailed off for me, so I thought she was like starting like, well, you see, and then.
Yeah, like Demir was basically like, strictly speaking, we're not, and then kind of trailed off, and that's a 22 for my persuasion.
Oof.
Oh, it's gonna go horribly.
Oh, near.
15.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I did it wrong. That was 18, not 22.
Okay. She will look at Tobias and say, the founder does not look kindly upon dishonesty.
Oops.
I know from experience that oftentimes guards and bureaucracy can get a little weighted down. And since this is clearly a matter of danger and serious importance to the residents of this city,
we do have experience with matters like this, and just concerned and hoping we can do something to help.
Well, I do appreciate that, especially as many of the victims are already vulnerable in of themselves. I appreciate your efforts. I would
look into them.
I would alert Senior Captain Thetan Raris of your efforts, though. He can be located in the night quarter.
We'll make note of that. Thank you. Perhaps we should let him know ourselves. If we can get him, if we can earn his cooperation, then that would help a lot. Put what do we have with what guards found?
If it helps any, I have heard rumors that the suspect She has been spotted near the burned house, just south of here.
All right.
How long has said house been burned?
Oh, quite a while now.
Unconnected then.
Likely unconnected.
Yeah.
The burned house is it's a house that was once occupied by two ex-students of the Katia Institute. It is the students themselves have not been seen in quite a while since the house burned. Since the house caught fire around, I would say 4 months ago.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, the what institute?
The Katia Institute. And those of you that want to roll a history check.
I will do that.
Not great.
That's actually a dirty 20.
That's a
Dang.
nat 20 for me.
Oh,
Nice.
I like how I think Erin's only 2 rolls so far have both been dirty 20s.
Yeah.
God.
And the rest of us are just rolling below 7.
Damn.
So
Also, the only people who do anything like just have been in the woods.
Street smarts
So,
over book smarts. Let's go.
Erin, in your travels, you have heard of the Katia Institute. It is, in fact, a school of magic, and it's located in the city of Royas. Tobias, you know this, and that the school itself is currently run by an elf named Vesrin Sayer.
What were the students' names you say?
I apologize, but I do not know their names. I only know that they had been expelled from the institute due to a spell that had gone wrong and unfortunately hurt a handful of other students.
Well,
Know what kind of spell it was.
dangerous.
I do not. I'm only merely repeating what I have heard patrons of my temple say.
That's understandable. Thank you.
Quick question. You said that the bodies were connected. Is it? Do you mean perhaps in a way other than their wounds?
Well,
Just out of curiosity.
most of the victims seem to be were denizens of this area, unfortunately. But other than that, they are different races and genders, age. They mostly seem to be connected through their injuries.
That's an area that the
All right,
girls
then.
don't investigate as much, then it's a good area.
Have
Totally
you
fine.
heard about, we had heard of the weapon that Esmeralda uses to defend himself with. Has anyone said what kind it is?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
We have heard that a little bit about the kind of weapon that Esmeralda uses. Have you potentially heard anyone mention like what the weapon actually is.
People are saying that it is a sword of some sort.
And she can use blood magic to set it aflame.
You're familiar with this district. Do you know where someone may go if they wanted to lie low around here? Aside from the general district.
Any place they could find, really. There are a multitude of empty buildings which do not have the best security.
Thank you. Well, Amir is going to look to the group and do we want to go look around and of course head over to the captain.
I'm sorry, one more question before we leave. Could you repeat the races of all of these people? I remember hearing names, but I don't remember hearing the races of all of them. You said they were all different, right?
The first victim was a human. He was addicted to a variety of substances. The second was a dwarf. He was homeless and he frequented our temple. Ethel Blackwood was human. Adelard was human as well. The most recent victim was a tiefling.
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks for all the information.
I'm glad that people are looking into this matter. Many, as I said, are not afraid to overlook the people within this quarter.
We hope that maybe through our efforts we can help them find justice. They deserve better than what they were given. Do you?
No one deserves that. What they had to go through.
Do you know where Cherish worked?
She walked the streets at night.
Fair enough. And then, this is slightly out of character. Did we ever get a location for where she was killed?
Nope.
Okay. And where was she found?
She was found not too far from the burned house, actually.
Okay.
Just a couple blocks away to the east.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And quite a bow.
All right. Hawk gets up. He seems ready to leave.
If you wish, I can guide you back to the main temple where you may pray underneath the statue. There's fresh water there should you need it.
Thank you.
Take away from your duties, but
I can't quite hear you, Demir. You're too far away, I think. You're cutting out.
We'd hate to take up more of your time. We can find our way out, but thank you.
Of course.
Can Tobias give her donation?
Sure, if you like.
Can you?
He's gonna give her 7 gold pieces. Says, I know it's not much, but I wanted you to have this as a thank you for helping us and also to help maintain this. And he indicates to the church.
She kind of bows her head and holds her arms out to the side and says, I thank you. If you need any assistance, do not hesitate to find me once again. I, with all the people in this city and in this world in my heart, and wish to help.
We will. And if we find anything, whether it be a leader or some answer, we will be sure to let you know.
I appreciate your efforts. May you always walk in Lathander's light and his guidance shines upon you.
And I say the same to you.
So where you guys head next?
As we're leaving, Hawk's gonna like poke Aaron, not literally, and say, "Hey, are you all right? You're a bit quieter than usual."
Oh, nothing that worrisome. Just, been thinking about things.
Are you sure it's nothing?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
if you say so. Hawk like friendly like pats Aaron twice on the shoulder before continuing to walk with the rest. There's something I'd like to point out to everyone actually.
Mhm.
There's some he's like gonna actually try to grab everyone's attention now. We've heard that the bodies were victimized by slashes and burns, right? Burns covered the whole body.
Yeah, I believe so.
Anyone else? Hello?
That is
Saint
correct.
just
Yes.
yes. And from what Lish and Demir heard about our blood mage, Esmeralda, right? Esmeralda?
Mhm.
Esmeralda?
Mm-hmm.
She was able to set a sword of some kind alight with flame. That sounds to me remarkably similar to what Toby can do. And if
Are you having this conversation out on the street?
probably not on the street, but he's gonna be like hushed, especially when talking about Toby. Like we're familiar with that kind of thing already. We've seen it in action, and
Hawk
I'm
pulls out a
thinking,
megaphone, and our blood mage.
no,
Our blood mage that's standing right here with the bow on his back, the
He
tallest
could turn
member
into
in
an
our party.
owlbear as well. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Back to here. Doesn't it stand to reason that if she was able to set a sword on fire, wouldn't the burns be only centralized around the slash wounds and not all over the body?
Yeah.
That would be.
Murders. I think she might be hunting it.
That's what I'm thinking as well, because the magic we've seen that's similar to this, it didn't coat the entire body of whatever it struck in that energy.
It wouldn't, yeah. It's when it strikes, it only imbues that strike with that energy. It wouldn't spread.
So if Israuda is the kind of blood mage that we're assuming she is right now, there's no way that the burns could have covered the entire body. They would have been centralized around the slash marks, possibly even cauterizing the wounds immediately.
So at the very least, there'd have to be something else burning them, if not murdering them altogether.
Hawk nods very quickly, twice.
It could also be someone trying to frame.
Yes.
Because
burns-
we already know how hated that
She
kind
was
is.
she was disliked before even she was suspect of anything.
If the burns are covering the entire body, it makes me think that it was something of a much higher magnitude, say, magic. We've seen what the magic users among us can do with their power, and I would think that something fire-based would be covering a much wider area, perhaps a little less controllable.
What makes me intrigued is the mention of those two stews,
I was thinking the same thing. Nobody's
where
seen them
there's
for
that
4
burned
months.
house. No one has seen them. Yes, no one has seen them.
You
Granted,
think,
I'm not saying that they're behind it,
but it does
but
seem
it seems a little odd, at least until we can maybe figure some instance out of learning what happened to them or what got them expelled from the school to begin with. Because that's a prestigious academy.
yeah.
It's well known for its magic arts. To be expelled from there would place a stain on your name for a long time.
We should probably.
Sure.
All right.
We know that there are things out there with some problem relating to magic and also relating to fire.
This is definitely worth checking out. Should we start by finding Esmeralda, or should we go report to the guard captain immediately?
Should probably report to the captain if we're going to be doing any any serious investigation.
Well, then again,
However,
if Esmeralda was recently sighted near the burning house, she may have moved on if by the time that we're done.
that's my concern as well, is if we want to try and initially at least follow what we can of the trail before it goes cold.
Any information that we receive on where she might be is information that is currently out in the public and therefore compromising her position.
Which means she'll probably want to stay on the move. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I think that given the circumstances, us being affiliated with guards is not going to be the best move finding out. The more we can avoid official entanglement, the better.
It would be my inclination to to make sure we end with the guards, but I just can't believe that they wouldn't look into the early murders, that they could just dismiss something like that no matter what happened.
Unfortunately,
I mean,
people are terrible.
At times, yes.
But
Which actually, now that you mention it, Aaron, you brought up a good point.
Oh.
They haven't started looking into this until Ethel was murdered. We also know that one of the servants was and it was Lady, what was her name? It was,
I believe it was Irene Diamond or something.
Hang on,
Close
just
to it.
pulling it up. Irene Diamond.
Irene.
Is it by chance spelled like diamond without the second D? Just making sure I got the spelling.
Deamonne.
Oh.
That's
Deamonne?
That's so fancy.
Okay. I've just got like butchered spellings based off of what I heard of each of these victims.
Yeah, and Irene Diamond, she was in Sunreach Tower? Or
no, she lives in one of the towers of Horizon View.
One of the towers of Horizon. Okay.
So that would also be high profile if only by association.
And there's also the rumors surrounding the head of the city? Is he referred to as a lord or?
Let me pull it up
Lord,
again, just
Mayor,
real
President,
quick.
King? Who knows?
President, king,
Because
mayor?
I gave him a title specifically.
Prime Minister?
Because I was looking for more varied titles other than just Lord or
The
Lady.
generic.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Let's see. A4.
A4?
EPHOR.
EPHOR. F4 of Yuvyla.
Yeah. His name is EPHOR Vestinius Zafala.
Zaphala?
Dafalla. I'll put all these names in the chat later.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Just so you don't have to interrogate you over their spelling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are rumors surrounding F4 here.
Really?
From what I remember reading, he was known as a kind and generous man or individual, well loved by the populace, although they have some unchecked altruism. However, the key thing is no one has ever seen them.
Oh,
Some
that is
speculate that they might not even exist.
that is certainly suspect, to say the least.
Absolutely. For now, though, I think we should go try and see if we can find Isroda before she moves on. If we want to meet her in person, this is probably our best chance. So far,
agree.
anyway.
All right. Hopefully we don't scare her or anything.
Probably shouldn't approach her as a group. That could very easily scare her off, especially if she's been hunted by mobs elsewhere in the city.
Yeah. Demir, you're good with people.
We could split up and investigate the district in small groups. I don't think we should go one-on-one, but
Of course not. Maybe in pairs or groups of 3 at most.
As unlikely as we think it is that she's guilty, she could very much still be a threat.
I don't want to be presumptuous, but I'm willing, or at least I feel I should probably be a part of the group, potentially talk to her because of the whole. And he lifts his hand, kind of waves a little. Yeah,
for sure.
That's probably a good idea.
Which is going to be where? Are we going to the burnt out house first, or?
Well, I think one of the groups definitely should. That's a mystery
If we want to make sure we can find her, I'm thinking that what we should do is, I find it unlikely that she would use the main roads, but we might be able to find her more easily from there. We could split into 3 groups. Toby and whoever wants to go with him could go directly to the burned house, and the other 2 groups could take either end of the road further down the line.
Murderer on the loose, hacking and slashing at people, I don't think that we should split up.
At the same time, if we approach her as a group, we risk scaring her away.
we could also go to the house, see if there's any sign of people there, and if there is, only a few of us go in with the others just outside.
Don't imagine that she's stuck around there, though, if she was spotted.
But there might be people who have more information.
There may be clues. It's
there could also just be trace of
we know.
Yeah, and there could also be trace of her being there.
Of course, and if no one goes around that place Otherwise, it might be a decent spot for her to hide.
More specific than just wandering up and down a road, hoping to stumble across something.
Yeah. The only other place that I would have interest in searching is that street where Cherish was found. Because since it was the most recent and there was discussion or mention of her fighting back, there could still be traces of that battle there. That might be able to give us a better inclination of what was used.
Of what the fight was, and I mean, straight up things like, are there any indication of how big the thing might have been, of any other characteristics it might be having?
Yes, precisely. Because if the battle was large enough, potentially there could have been witnesses.
That does seem good to look into. And anything we want to look into is just gonna get colder and colder the longer we wait.
I'm gonna start going off towards where the burned house was. I assume we got directions?
Yeah, let's just all go that direction. I think I like Lish's plan of we all go there, half
Not
of us go
splitting
in,
up.
half of us stay out.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You got directions towards the burn house. Are you heading towards the burn house or where the tiefling sex worker?
I think it was burned house.
Died?
Burned house first.
Okay.
Burned house.
So you head towards the burn house, and you're not really 100% sure what you're expecting. Maybe like the hollowed out shell of a house that's been completely burned down, or smoking rubble of some kind. But you approached this house, and it looks like a house that has some scorch marks on it. It's not like as devastated as you are expecting it to be, but still much like the so many of the other houses in the Rookery, there's it's boarded up in some places, and I'd like for anyone who wants to meet. Well, actually, I'm going to say specifically Tobias first to make a perception check.
Ooh.
That's going to be a 12.
12. That's good enough. When sort of looking at the house, you notice kind of scratched into one of the boards blocking the door, 2 symbols in hunter's cant.
That is information.
One of them is the symbol for danger, and the other is the symbol for traps.
Immediately, he's going to put a hand out to stop anyone else from going forward. Wait. Don't step any closer.
Wrong.
You see something?
And this is scratched into one of the boards that is up against the door. And Lish, you'll notice that since you have a super high perception, that the boards on the door seem looser than the ones on the windows.
Like they have come off or would easily come off?
Both.
Are there like tracks coming in and out of the front of the building? Is there signs of activity?
Roll investigation or survival.
14?
Not that you notice so much. Mostly it's just the symbol scratched in the ones blocking the door.
It says that it's trapped.
This one here, and he indicates to the first one that says danger. That one reads danger. And the second one here reads traps.
So
So
for
whoever's
those of
in-
you,
Would trap a burned
those
house.
of you that don't know Hunter's Camp, the one that looks like danger looks sort of like an eye circle with a dot in it, surrounded by a larger circle with lines coming out of it, and then the one for traps is a line with kind of spikes coming out of it on the ends.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic and 30 feet out, see if I can sense anything magical trapped.
There are magical auras within the house itself.
Around the doorway or just inside?
Inside.
Okay, so nothing particularly specific about the front door.
No. You get the impression that whoever had carved this in the door, and you notice that the carvings are fresher than the wood or the house itself. Whoever carved this was warning about inside of the house.
What kind of magic is it that I'm sensing?
Let's see.
I think you got to roll a check for that.
It's thing of the spell tells me
Yeah.
magic.
Oh, that's true.
Well, there are various kinds of magic. There's let's see. I'm trying to double check. There's the closest one. There seems to be conjuration. There seems to be another smaller one that's conjuration. And then slightly further away, there's let me just double check, abjuration.
Do they seem to be moving?
Not at all.
Well,
Are you going to share with the class, Lish?
there is different types of magic in there.
Magic too?
Well,
Things.
if there were, I'm sure there are, something at us, but if there were magic students living here for time, some of it might be related to that, might be things they had about.
What I'm wondering is if these are from before or after this house got burned.
Activity from after the house got burned. Boards seem loose. There's markings for warnings. There's magic presence inside. This is not just an abandoned house, clearly.
Very clearly.
Well,
I have to wonder if that our Humacraft quote-unquote mage is in there. I'm not sure how much magic she would be proficient with, but as far as I know, Humacraft mages have...
She could be a hunter. She could have been the one who put these marks here. Because these are only used by hunters. This is not something that you would find randomly. We use these symbols to warn each other.
Tobias,
Your
as
special...
far as you know, the
Yeah,
Hunter's Cant was developed by Offsea's tribe. and is used
Oh shit!
by his tribe.
Oh, dude!
I need to find this woman. I have questions.
I don't sense
My hunch was right.
I don't sense anything magical and alive in there. So
it may just be left stuff.
there could be
Well,
creatures that are just not magical or traps that are not magical.
While everyone ruminates on
Well-
this, Hawk's gonna see if he can find any like tracks or signs of where this marker could have gone.
Sorry, checking something. Could you repeat
Yeah, it's all right.
that?
Yeah, I understand. While everyone's musing about this, Hawk's gonna look around for any signs, tracks, left behind things that could point potentially a direction for where whoever put the marks in went.
I think Lish looked for that already.
Did he?
Oh, very high though.
Yeah, you looked at least by the front door.
I'm looking around like the whole area, sort of, just like the ground around.
Okay.
You're kind of just like going around the building.
Mostly you're on the front.
Roll investigation check or survival then.
Okay. Which of those is higher?
Although on that note, I do kind of want to do a circle around the house. I'm not going to go in it, but
Okay.
All right, survival. Oh hell yeah, 21. Finally.
Like what are you looking for specifically?
I
what
don't know.
kind of
Vague footprints in the street, perhaps left behind belongings.
You're
Anything
in a
that
city.
could give me direction. I know. You can leave footprints in a city, Avery.
You're in a city in a section where a lot of people are crammed in all at once.
That is fair. Never mind.
So, like,
but I did roll a 21.
If you had I know, and I'm trying to figure out what to give you.
That's
you
fair.
Didn't ask for a description of Esmeralda, not even her race.
True.
I
asked all these
wanna
questions,
give you
forgot to-
something.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hawk,
oh jeez.
A better question that Hawk might or should have asked was if there's any other signs of someone entering the house or.
That's a good question. I'll give that to Hawk.
Okay.
Not really.
So no one's entered the house recently, then.
Or at least not through like any of the windows or a side hole or something, just only through the door.
Only through the door.
Is it possible for Toby to like try to peer in through some of the, because the house is still well built. It's not like, sorry.
I was going to say I wanted to do here was to go around the back and see if I could peek in any windows.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I'll go to Demir first. So since you had prompted it, I'll say you can roll investigation with advantage since Toby's helping you.
You. Oh my god. Okay. That's
Tell us the numbers.
advantage.
It's a what?
7 and a 1.
A 1 with advantage?
I rolled a 7 and a 1.
Oh jeez.
Okay. It looks like this place is pretty firmly boarded up. They didn't want any. The guards or whoever put up the boards didn't want any squatters to get in.
So all of the windows are boarded up pretty successfully.
Yeah.
There's well, no way in through the back, so.
And by
Seems
the way,
about
as
right.
you're walking around, it's essentially a tenement area. Like now alleyways are very narrow.
Yeah, the
and,
tenements.
like it's dirty and dingy, and it looks like the back of its place. The alley between like the buildings is a place where people might sleep if they're desperate. It's not a nice area.
Is there anyone outside right now?
Anybody check the front door for traps? Do we have anybody with the
No one has checked the front door for traps.
I was going to look to see if there's people outside. Then I was going to check the front door for traps.
As for people that are outside, there are a handful of people, but they're not really paying you much mind. You get the impression that this area of the city, it's like, you don't bother me, I don't bother you. I might try and sell you drugs. I might try and pickpocket you, but I'm not interested in you because you look heavily armed.
You ain't worth
Sick.
it. I don't want to get stabbed.
Toby's going to check that front door.
All right, roll investigation. Check for traps.
Ooh, baby, don't fucking fail me now. Investigation. Here we go. 12. Fucking door explodes.
There are no traps as far as you can see. You do notice, though, that it looks like the boards blocking the front door. You kind of got this vibe before. They look like they've been pried off and then kind of put back on loosely. So that if someone were to just pass by and glance it looks like they haven't been disturbed, but you could take them off without too much effort to get inside.
Okay. Tobias is gonna look to the group and say, well, there goes nothing. And cautiously heel a board back / move it to the side.
Okay.
Start moving the boards out of the way.
You move the boards out of the way. There's
nothing happens?
No, nothing happens.
Fuck.
There's a door.
Damn it! They got
Damn it, I
me!
wanted it to be subjected to a fireball spell.
Listen, it would have been funny.
Excuse you. We only have one party member currently covered in burn scars, and we really need to up that number.
Of course. He will. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, he'll just slowly push open the door.
All right.
Just enough for someone to slip through.
So, do you open the door? Just a smidge. Nothing happens.
Here we go. He's gonna go inside.
All right. So you slip inside, and does anyone else follow him, or is it just Toby right now?
I'm gonna slip in.
I will.
You can't stop me.
So,
why don't you stand watch? Make sure that no one watches or is coming.
all right. Are you having B or Levy?
I mean, well, B or Levy, whichever one wants to.
Okay.
Maybe we should take Levy with us. She's a magic, or
let's just bring them both.
Okay.
No one's gonna want to come in after us. It's a trapped, burned building.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, there's 7 of us. So if a person walks in trying to start shit, we
outnumber them 7 to 1.
Their life.
Unless they bring in like a full-on small yakuza gang, they don't stand a chance.
That is true. Fair enough.
Valid. Unless for some reason there's a level 20 rogue stalking the streets, which I highly doubt.
At this level, no.
Exactly.
In this
You're
city,
not that cruel.
In this city, no.
A level 20 rogue at this city, at this level, at this time of night, at this time of year.
Localized entirely
in this burned house.
Yes.
Congrats, guys. You just
No, he rolled a 20 on stealth.
You just did a speed run to get to the King of Cut Purses.
Hell yeah!
Backwards long jump.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but joking aside, that's where we're gonna call session.
Yeah, we only got about 8 minutes
okay.
left.
Fair
There's
enough.
no
Got
way we're
about 8
coming through a
minutes,
whole house.
and
That's a good spot to.
It's
a
a
very
great
good spot
spot to
to
end.
leave
I'm
off.
going to
Yeah.
be just sad all week wondering what's going to be in here.
Yeah.
Traps. Lots and lots of traps.
I like
At
that
least
team,
3.
or at least discussion between Aaron and Tobias, bouncing ideas off of like, what could it be? It could be this. It could be that. That's a good point.
Yeah, that was nice.
Sometimes they fight like cats and dogs, and then sometimes they get along pretty well.
And finally, Hawkson decided to not be quiet for once and channeled his inner sleuth that he has for some reason. He actually used his processing power for once, guys.
Investigate.
I'm so proud.
If he had a mouth, I could say he could do that stupid thing in Detroit Become Human where like dips his fingers in something and then licks it. He goes, yes, this has certain amount of minerals in it or something.
Hawk dips
I don't
his
know.
fingers in
I
something.
don't know why my
Smears
father
it
gave me
across his
taste buds this functional, but for once I'm glad.
Hawk dips his fingers in something, smears it across his blank face. Yeah,
Smears it
so
across
as
his-
you can
Smears it across his face. Yes. This water is at least 50% dirt. I can tell because it left streaks.
None of the rest of you should put it in your mouth.
If anyone was planning on drinking this, I would highly advise against it.
I may not be a doctor.
Darn, there go my plans for the weekend.
well,
Anyways,
anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for playing, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Having fun. Having a lot of fun.
Really, this is
I
really
really enjoyed all of the discussions and investigative work you guys were doing. That's the kind of D&D I like.
it feels so cool. Getting
Yes.
to roll for things and asking questions and being
Right?
involved.
Yes.
And Tobias has knowledge that can be used.
Holy
Finally.
shit.
God,
He
though,
did it.
him rolling 20s on those 2 history checks makes me so happy because it's like, finally he can come with, yes, I know about these things. I may
Also,
have
just
lived in a
immediate.
fucking
Also, just
woods for all my
immediate
life, but
plot connection. We haven't even met Israelda yet.
I am so hyped for that. You don't even understand.
I think I can understand, kind of.
Was it by chance when I shouted "Holy shit"?
Oh
that
no,
potentially
definitely not.
What
That
gave an
didn't raise
indication?
any flags
Oh,
whatsoever.
I got a little bit of a clue about that.
It was just a little subtle hint, that I'm dropping.
Very
Just
subtle. I like
very,
it.
very subtle.
Very well. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for DM for once again
Yeah.
being absolutely wonderful.
Of course, as always.
Having
Allowing
fun
us
with
to be
this,
a bunch
guys.
of bumbling idiots. So, It's like
I'm
the
having-
idea of all of us just fucking standing around this house looking at it like, what do we do? It's just like,
T-posing at the house to make it not be trapped.
yes. Damn it, we should have done that.
I mean, wait, isn't that just how Erin sleeps?
Oh, shit.
I forgot about
Anyway, we'll end session where it's a good stopping point before jumping into stuff. But thanks for playing, friends. I'll post the recording whenever I can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Alright.
thank you.
Have a nice weekend, y'all. See you next week.
See you next time.
See you next week.
Woohoo.
Bye-bye now.